This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have Martin Lee with his first place armor list that he took for Play TCG's DC1 tournament this past weekend. How are you doing, Martin?
Oh yeah, good. Just honestly happy I could play the game. It's always an honor being on these kind of videos. So thanks, Eggman.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw you play during the day, and I really like what your build's doing, and I think it's a really cool kind of call for what this meta is right now.
Yeah, I would say I'll do a few shout outs, but I'm gonna shout out this is their Discord names, Spursy and From the Future.
Mm-hmm.
They both won Bandai events as well, like regionals. So I consider them both better than me. And I think they helped me a lot prepare for these events.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we thought it was the deck was viable in the format.
For sure. Yeah. Which I thought like Armor was done with. I thought, BT8 it had some good times, BT9 it had some bad times, and it was just done so. But here it is with your finish today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I guess one more thing I want to shout out before I start the video. I'm gonna actually shout out Eggman, particularly for me, especially for these kind of events. The video he does on the meta breakdown, super helpful, super hard to find that kind of stuff all in one place. So yeah, it makes a lot of difference for preparing for events, knowing kind of what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Eggman.
Appreciate it. And the video for this event, for the PlaySTG's DC1 event, should be out Monday after, so like the day after this video goes up. So you guys should be looking forward to that guy as well. But enough talk. Good. Let's go into your deck list that you ran.
Yeah. I guess there's one other thing is I actually did a little bit of testing this event because there was a TCG Plus event for BT10 at Carta the week prior.
Yep.
And there was only 5 rounds, but I actually had won that one as well.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
So, yeah. So actually this is unchanged, so I kind of had a stress test for the event as well.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so no BT10 cards in this list then, huh?
There's 2 BT10 cards.
Okay, just 2 BT10 cards. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a BT10 tournament.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll start with the eggs. We got Demi V and 4 Upamons. Upa's pretty standard. I think this card is actually... There's an argument to only play 4 eggs because this card is so good against Crossheart.
Yep.
It will always draw you a card.
Yeah.
The thing with this, the reason is dumb, but I play this because the art is better than the other eggs.
Sure.
But if I was to change it, it would probably be the new BT10 blue egg. If your opponent has 2 Digimon,
sure.
Draw a card.
Yeah.
Because I think it's more reliable.
Is there any jamming in your list?
There is jamming Vmon.
Oh, okay.
And so it actually comes up quite a lot because the deck draws a lot naturally. And so you'll have a choice of going into jamming V when you play this.
Gotcha.
It doesn't come up that consistently, but it never felt like it lost me the game.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the eggs real quick. We'll start with the rookies here. So pretty standard 4 jamming Vs.
Yep.
This actually is a mandatory, I think, just because it pressures a lot of damage by itself. A lot of poke. Really, the card has been broken since BT3.
Yes.
Still good. EX1V, just a lot of memory gain actually. And I play a little bit more unsuspend, I think, some armor decks. So this one comes up a lot. The Vmon, this is probably the best Vmon, but the worst art in my opinion still for the deck. It searches almost everything in this deck, including the options in Tamer, which is super relevant for both Mega Death, digging for it, but also for the Tamer in the more like Secon oriented matchups. Sometimes you want to set up that kind of play. And then the last 2 were the starter Vmons. I figured I'd be hard playing a lot more cards this format, and I figured this might draw me some cards. I could see a slot opening for all 4s for that kind of cute tech, but this card I think could be changed with any Vmon, honestly.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it's a difference maker.
Yeah, there's a lot
the nice
of...
thing about armor is
I was just gonna say, there's a lot of good Vmons, so like you do get like a choice from it, but I think he's probably the worst, but there's just honestly not a better one than him right now.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I think the deck tends to have a lot of flex spots. The one thing I've seen other lists is switching to like a memory choker, like a Madoki.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely not to do that because you are going to turn off half your level 4s.
Yeah, that's fair.
In terms of level 4s, pretty standard. 4 Lydra. This is still the best armor in the deck.
It is.
Only because it's green-blue. Because it's just so broken with Davis and Ken. It lets you set up explosive turns, but also helps you control the board in a way that is kind of unfair in cost efficiency.
Yeah.
Flame Dramon, I only play 3 just because I haven't felt like I wanted the 4th armor. But this card is still very good, and I could see myself upping it in the future, but I think it's fine for now. One thing that's super relevant for everyone is that when attacking is until end of turn. So oftentimes you can increase your DP over the course of a turn by unsuspending the stack.
Yep, unsuspending and then swing in with something.
Yep, exactly. Magnamon, must play 4 of. It's also your gateway to Magna X, which is, I'll touch on a little bit, but card is so good. And also is a way to kill a lot of megas that people often don't expect. And then just the last one is Lobomon. It just helps end the game. You have Tamers.
Yeah.
Pretty standard. Now, I actually do play some level 5, which I know most armor lists don't always do. 2 Pyodramon, 1 Chimera. I tried a lot of different versions. In previous versions, I had up to 5, 6 DNAs. I do think Chimera is really good against a lot of decks still, especially a lot of low to the ground decks like Cross, where they're setting up with tons of bodies. I will say though, like it's kind of just a replacement for, or not replacement, an extra DeathX-like effect, which I'll also touch on later. But the card is fine.
Yeah.
And then Pyodramon is, I am so glad I still play this card. This card, it sounds really bad.
It does.
Every time you play this card, you have to pretend it has jamming.
You do. You really do.
But you will win when you play to win, right?
Yeah.
When you play this deck, you have to play to win, and Pyodramon will win you games you just shouldn't win.
Yeah.
So honestly, the bounce happens sometimes, it didn't happen sometimes, but you're honestly okay to just evo this in raising or evo it in stack. Like it happens where you won't pass turn going for 4, and it will just 2 extra checks is huge.
Yeah, especially since if it's in raising and then you have the Davis and a dual Tamer there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get the memory there too, guaranteed.
Yeah. Exactly. In terms of megas, just 4 Magna X. So this card is actually the only reason I think this deck can compete in the current format. This card will effectively buy you as many turns as you want until Crossfire can remove it.
Yep.
And if you happen to have the Awakening of the Golden Knight, I mean, they can't even remove it then.
No,
so
yeah.
This card is makes your good map just better and your bad map just play.
Sure.
I think I could see the argument for playing 3 because you draw a lot of cards, but there's inevitably going to be a game where you don't see them, and so I just always want to see 4.
Yeah.
Awakening is...
I was going to say, yeah, if you're playing the option card as well, yeah, you should totally max out on it because you can turn any of your armors into...
Exactly. I guess on the note of the option, Awakening, it's good. I think the most relevant part is just it being a 3 cost to warp your armors. The security effect actually does matter a lot too when you're grinding. I think against D Brigade, I played Magna X 4 times against them. Well, because of Awakening, I was able to bring them back. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, because there's also like the level 4 or the level 6, right?
Yeah, you can get the level 4 or the level 6. So there's the option to put a Magna over your Magnas or your other armors as well.
Yeah.
If you just, so it's not really dead.
Yeah.
I'll go through kind of the options and Tamers now. For Davis and Ken, I think I've always liked Tamer decks. I used to play a lot of Yellow Hybrid, Shine, TK Kari, things that inevitably give you 2 memory, feel really broken. And so being able to have the option to play the slow game, the grindy game, I think one of Armor's strongest traits for me is that it's a flexible deck. You can play it to different matchups. You don't have to always play Rush. And so I never call my deck Armor Rush. It's just Armor deck.
Yeah.
So for Davis and Ken, I think this card is broken. It represents a damage all by itself. 2 Davis, just a memory tamer, finds you cards. I guess with the Pyodramon, it finds the Pyodramon quite often as well. 2 Memboost. There's an argument for this being Spark. The only reason is there are so many games I open no rookies, and if you have to play Armor without rookies, you're going to cry.
Yeah, exactly.
I have actually a good memory of last TCG test event. I won a game never seeing a rookie.
Oh my gosh.
By only just going Magna X. But opening a hand with a memory boost and no rookies versus a hand with memory a Hammer Spark and no rookies is very different.
Yeah.
So that's pretty quick there. And then 3 Megadeth. I can see this going up to 4 or 5 depending on what you're seeing. Like, and B5 being Gigadeath, the 5th copy. It's good, saves you from things like alpha and security. This is super cost efficient. Not really much explained there.
Yeah.
And I think the most questionable cards, the last 4, are the level 7.
Let's see them.
So DeathX is as a 2 in GX. I'll talk about GX first.
Sure, sure.
This was the only BT10 card, and it is really interesting, I think, what it does. I think initially you would think this as a Blitz Omni in most parts. You give out over your Magna X, you put a Magna under it, and you blitz and swing. But it actually has a lot of different kind of intricacies to it, and I didn't realize. So one common thing that may happen is you may go into a Magna, you go into GX, you put a Magna under it, you unsuspend it, and you'll have blockers, so you're swinging, so you may feel like you lost a blocker.
Yeah.
But even at Davis and Ken, you can unsuspend it still.
Yeah.
Because it's just any 2 colors, so they're pretty relevant. The other thing is this card lets you pressure in ways armor like Fire Rocket tries to do, while also just being a 15k security check that kills bodies a lot. So.
Yeah, I don't
what
think
happened.
I don't think a lot of people would expect that, and even like in chat, people are like, "Why is he running that card? It makes no sense."
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
it looks very strong.
It does a lot that people don't. It's very hard to play around this card. I think is the biggest thing. And the other thing too is, unironically, even with Chimera, like Chimera shenanigans aside, very consistently this thing is going to be Sec +3. So you're gonna have Magna go into Magna X, go into GX, and you're gonna, if you have it, you can slide another Magna underneath. And that's 3 Royal Knights for 4 checks.
Yeah.
There was actually a game today against an alpha player. On my turn 2, they gave me 3. I moved out of Magna, went Magna X, swung for 1 check, went GX, swung for the whole check. And so they're at 0 security now on their turn 3.
And they're like, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly. So, it really gets them. And then DeathX. So initially this was a concession to the format, mostly for Crossheart and most of my playtesting. I do think it still comes up against almost every deck I played against today. DeathXmon matters a lot because they drop all their sisters. Alpha still plays tons of Tamers. Even like DeathX, even SecCon, they play tons of Tamers. This card, all right, this is my mantra for this deck.
Please go for
it. DeathX is the best card in this deck. Your game plan is to stall with the other cards until you see this card. I'm like kind of joking, but like 96% serious here.
I believe you.
You will win so many games just by going to Magna X. Just sit on and do whatever, chip damage. You can kind of just, do your taxes, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you play DeathX for 0, and then they lose the game.
Yeah.
So I think as the format adapts, people will continue to play more around this card. But right now, I think a lot of people do not play around DeathX, especially when you're playing armor. So super relevant. Also, randomly kills like megas when they hit insecurity. So always nice. But that's the deck.
Yeah, a DDGevolve for free in a deck like this, I think, is incredibly strong. Just wipes out a lot of blockers and well, cool. Yeah, I think the list is super tight. I think just how you played it this weekend is really cool too. And I'm happy that you got first with this too. It's really great. So
thank you.
Go for it.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I think all my opponents are really great today. I mean, it was a great event. So yeah. And great shout out again to Eggman for covering it.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you very much for spending some time, especially this is like literally right after, so I know we're both exhausted. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Congrats again on your first place finish. And that's going to be the video for us today. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. And we'll catch you all next time.